What's up, the world? It's your boy Tommy Mav. I just came in real quick. I don't like I said. I don't. I like to most of the time speak on things when they're important to me. Like I said, um, I make videos more off feeling than I do off of need to, be famous or anything like that. I just kind of use it like just a place to come and kind of explain myself. I think that's what most YouTube channels should be used for. It's an opportunity to kind of just speak, open your window and speak freely. Um, and last night, I think, is one of those type of situations where I look across and I say, "Wow." When you look at somebody like a LeBron, and you say to yourself, the man just has a way of like adding a poetic flair to almost everything he does, right? It's almost like he does it on purpose. Um, I think last night was like the chef kiss to LeBron's career, right? If you look, like, you would think that his streak ending would be a situation where there would be cause to and there is, don't get me wrong, there is, but there will be cause to look at it and be like, man, LeBron needs to get right, and he does. But the fact that in that game, nobody pays attention to this. Go look at the tape. Who was guarding Brandon Ingram? Who was guarding Scotty Barnes at the end of that game? Both. 43-year-old LeBron. That's crazy. Nobody's gonna talk about that, right? Nobody's gonna talk about the fact that LeBron was guarding Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram for the vast majority of the second half. Nobody's gonna talk about that. But that is, you gotta think about how insane that is. You're 43 years old, supposedly the weak link on the defense, and you're guarding the two best players on the other team. They're on hot streaks. These guys are balling, right? And LeBron guards him. Nobody will say anything about it. How many players ate because of the way LeBron chose to play last night? You think those players looking around are not happier with the way LeBron was playing in comparison to the way Luka was playing the night before? Or the 2 days before? Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure they're probably pretty irked with the way Luka's playing. Luka's playing, like, to me, not good. I think Austin Reeves scored 40 points last night. He was not doing it by doing what Luka Doncic was doing. I love the way Austin plays. Austin Reeves understands. He's well tutored. You can tell he understands. I'm not gonna beat a whole team by myself. I gotta pass the ball. I gotta get the ball to different people. It'll open it up for me. Then I can get more 1v1s and I can play the right way. I don't have to hold the ball for 15 seconds out of the shot clock. I've said this before. Austin Reeves is to me every bit as good, if not better, than Luka Doncic. I see Austin Reeves and I say, could you imagine that team with Austin Reeves, LeBron, and Anthony Davis? I mean, it's a defensive anchor or let's say they got DeAndre Ayton, right? Could you imagine DeAndre Ayton, AD at the 4, LeBron at the 3, Austin at the 1, LeBron at point guard, Austin at the 2, and Rui at the 3. That's a championship team. Now what you have is you have Luka, who I don't know if he plays point guard or forward. I couldn't tell you. He doesn't play like a point guard, but he does play point guard, so I guess you would put him at point guard. You have Austin Reeves, who I would guess would be the 2 guard when he can get the ball, because he's a 2 guard, but Luka's pretty much the 2 guard because he shoots more than Austin does. So yet he's the point guard, which makes no sense. Then you got the 3, which is, I guess, LeBron. But LeBron's supposed to be the person looking for passing lane whenever he can touch the ball, because who the hell knows when he's going to touch it with Luka, when Luka has it, when Luka's in the game, because he monopolizes the ball. Nobody else touches the ball when Luka's in. Everybody else is reduced to standing around and watching this dude while he goes and stands around and watches everybody when the ball goes back on defense. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm being harsh, but I think I gave him more than ample enough time to prove me wrong, and I don't think Luka proved me wrong at all. I think everything Luka does is for the sake of Luka. I watched that game, and he is, and I will never be a fan of that type of player. I don't like players like that who while their teammates are busting their ass and doing everything in their power, they're getting all the vanity. All the vanity points are going to them because they find out all the thing the media will give them credit for, and then they do that. Like I said, James Harden, no such luck. Luka, he can get away with it. But regardless, the point is that when the fact that LeBron was guarding those two on defense while still running the offensive point guard, they struggled when LeBron wasn't on the floor. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. I thought Austin Reeves did a good job. Sometimes he did not look so hot trying to run the offense without LeBron out there. He was. Let's just say LeBron put Austin Reeves in a lot of good positions last night. And Austin Reeves did a bang up job being the number one with the team playing through him. I thought, like I said, he's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard, which is what he's supposed to do. Focus on scoring, focus on getting the points. LeBron focused on setting everybody up, both offensively and defensively, and they look good. There's a reason why they were so good without Luka last year, and there's a reason why their defense suffers when Luka's on the court. Luka focus way too much on scoring. He does not focus enough on the X's and O's of the game. So regardless, the point is it ain't got nothing to do with Luka. When you outside of pointing out the difference, because a lot of people act out being weird when I said that Luka was the problem. The way he ran the offense and how little he did on defense. That was the biggest problem. I think last night you did not have. Could you imagine Brandon Ingram with Luka on the floor? Could you imagine what Scotty Barnes would have done with Luka on the floor? Last night, except for when LaRavia was in, they did not have anybody to pick on defensively. So most of their shots were difficult shots where they had to shoot from far away or shoot the three. They were not getting the shots that the Suns were getting the night before. The last game, I'm going to say. That's the difference. I think sometimes you have to pay. You're robbing Peter to play Paul when you get these guys who are so offensively focused and then don't take pride in their defensive play. You got to take pride in your defensive plays, because if you do not take pride in your defensive plays, that's how you get beat. Because you're so focused on the points going in, and you're being very nonchalant about the points that are going out. And then like I said, the chef kiss of the night was LeBron having the opportunity. This is, like I said, there's no way you can spin this into LeBron being a selfish player, right? LeBron, it is 0-0. That is a win-win for LeBron. I mean, it's tied. That is a win. If LeBron chooses to shoot, that is a win-win, right? He misses it, they go into overtime. He has more chance to get his double digit. If he makes it, he gets his double digits and he's the game winner. No athlete, no guy would have did what LeBron did last night. He already had 10 assists, so he already had double-digit assists. That assist is not going to make it look so much better. But LeBron did exactly what you expect LeBron to do. He went down the middle, found an open man, did exactly what he's been taught to do. The one thing that could end his streak is him passing the ball there. That is the one thing he could do that could end his streak. Nothing else. If he kept the ball, he either makes it or they go into overtime. You cannot say, I've heard for years, LeBron in that streak, he's coming back in to keep the streak going alive. He's such a selfish player. Nah. And then you see that. That is one of the greatest streaks in sports. And to end it in a scenario where you had every opportunity to do the most selfish thing that most me-first players would do, which is, hey, I'm taking a shot. If I make it, I'm the GOAT. If I miss it, we going into overtime. I got plenty of chances to win. No, I'm going to get the best shot. I'm going to go get the best shot, and I'm going to do what's best for the team. When you talk about a player that consistently, as a person that is raising up a basketball player, that you can look at and say, that's how you play. LeBron James has always been that player. LeBron James has never played like Harden. LeBron James has never played like Jordan. LeBron James does not do that. LeBron plays within his team, gets the most out of his teammates, and his teammates love him for it. They asked Brandon Ingram, which for years everybody talk about Brandon Ingram hates LeBron. No, nothing but good things to say about LeBron, right? This idea that LeBron is somehow Anthony Edwards talking about LeBron over the summer. These guys look at LeBron because they realize LeBron is not that type. Is not an ego-driven player. All players are ego-driven, but I'm saying he is not a player that he realizes that 90% of his accolades come through his ability to get the most out of others, not go out there and play Superman. And when you watch that play, that is if you're gonna talk about a way to end a streak, that's the way you end the streak. By saying, LeBron, you should supposed the one thing LeBron got criticized for his entire career. The one that is so poetic. The one thing that he got criticized his entire career. And you got to think about this, bro. That streak has been going on since 2005. No, I'm sorry. Since 2008. That is insane. I don't even know if Steph Curry was in the league when that streak started. And you're sitting there and you like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. For you to end, for all those years, he could have ended his career with that streak in time. But instead, his brain said, natural default, make the right play. Do you think Luka passes the ball there? Hell no. But because he chose to pass it, and they were so sure that LeBron was going to try to keep that streak alive, it made it the perfect diversion. They all collapsed, left Rui wide open, and LeBron said, there you go. And what blows your mind is that is such a chef kiss, poetic end to that streak. You go on Twitter, people are saying LeBron's washed. The vast majority of people are applauding it. I'm not saying the vast majority of people were applauding it and saying it was a big. But you have these sycophants, these weirdos. LeBron's washed. He scored 8 points. He also had 11 assists. And is sixth game of the season. He's extremely rusty still. So yeah, he's getting back into playing shape. It takes a little while. You saw Paul George when he came back from his injury last year. You see how Kawhi Leonard looked. He always comes back from injury. The same thing with Anthony Davis. It takes a while to get your feet back, get back in playing shape, get your feet under you, all that other stuff. But LeBron is still being able to bring. LeBron has so many talents that even though he is getting back into his groove and getting back to his shape, which he does, LeBron is not a natural shooter. So I think it takes a while for LeBron to get his touch back and get all that other stuff back in the midst of the bullets flying in the middle of the game. LeBron, it takes a while for LeBron to get into to his shooter groove a lot of times. And I think it's going to take a little while for LeBron to get into that groove. But LeBron is not doing it. But he's still saying, I'm still one of the greatest passers and greatest point guards this league has ever seen. I can't beat you. I can still beat you with my mind. And I can still beat you with my ability to read defenses, get the best matchups, get my teammates in the best positions so that they get the best matchups, and I can still pick you apart. There is a beauty to that. And for anybody to look at that situation where a guy like LeBron and not applaud that as a basketball fan, the fact that this man in year 43 can still control the game like that and still contribute in the way that he does is an amazing feat. And when you playing in a league where somebody like Chris Paul gets cut by the Clippers and can't even finish his tenure out, his last year, what he says will be his last year in the league. When he can't even get that, yet you got LeBron, who's 43 years old, and still being able to contribute on an all-star level like LeBron is. To me, it's insane. That you can sit up there and talk about a guy who's his ego this, his ego that, can sit up and say, no, I'll play. I'll play. Let these guys eat. But I'm still gonna show you I'm the glue that keeps this whole thing together. I'll get my shot back. I'll get my feet under me, and I'm not gonna need 29 shots to get 20 points. I'm gonna be good. I'll go right back to my same efficient ways of needing 15 to 16 shots and I still average 20. And another 7 and 7. But as I said before, LeBron is a different type of dude. And you never know what LeBron's gonna do. Because LeBron does not do what every narrative about LeBron generally gets beat, crushed, turned on its head, because LeBron just does what he thinks the team needs. And when you see a situation like that, where LeBron again just does what the team needs, and he's always going to get criticized because that's LeBron. LeBron is the most criticized athlete in the history of sports. But when you sit there and you watch that game, and you know that you know what I mean, this could possibly be LeBron's last season, or maybe we don't have many more games from LeBron. And when you sit there and you watch a guy play the way that LeBron did, it's insane. You know, a streak like that probably will never be broken, because the possibility gets messed up because people don't think about this. Everybody thinks other people are going to break it. But there's so many games where you have to have such an injury list. You got to be such an Iron Man that that means every game you start, you have to score 10 points. The reason why that streak will never be broken is because most people get hurt. So most of the time they will start a game, get hurt, not finish, and end up with less than 10 points. This happens all the time. They start the game, he pulled a hamstring, he's out. LeBron was able to go through that for all these years, and he always at least scored double digits. That is an insane record that will never be broken. But you're sitting there and you're watching these players, these people who don't understand the significance of a record like that, and his ability to end it in such a way that still promotes his prospect as being the GOAT, the greatest of all time. To take a situation like that and end it with such a poetic flair is, to me, just one of the reasons why I love the way LeBron is the epitome of everything that I love about team basketball. It's a person understanding and given autonomy, given responsibility, given privilege, and utilizing it in the right way. Because anybody can go out and just shoot and take that privilege and use it to serve themselves. It takes a very, very tempered superstar to use it to help others. To understand, I got to get my other guys in rhythm. I got to make sure that they're good. You think if Roy wasn't getting those passes from LeBron the whole game, that he hits that last shot? Probably not. But because LeBron has been setting him up the whole game, finding him, keeping him in his rhythm, keeping all these players in the rhythm, even at the expense of keeping himself out of rhythm, he was keeping everybody else in rhythm. He was keeping Austin Reeves in rhythm. He was not making it. He was not making it so Austin Reeves was going 20 minutes without getting a shot off. Luka does that. When you're sitting there and you're watching the game and these guys are getting you ruined, you might not get a shot, but you might get 1 or 2 shots a quarter. So when you sit in there and you watching this and these guys are eating, Gabe Vincent hit a lot of good shots. Why? Because when you got a guy who's in rhythm and passing it to you, when you know all I got to do is get in position, the person going to find me and I'm going to get my shot off. And I'm going to get my shot off in rhythm. I'm not going to stand there and wait and either cut to the basket. That's the only way I'm going to get the ball, if I cut to the basket. Or if I stand there and he has nowhere to go with the ball and needs an outlet pass. Now he passes to me with 5 seconds left, and I'm messing up my shooting percentage because I got to try to get a shot off in 5 seconds. And if I do, he gets the credit for assist when he did not help me at all. So I think if you're a person who likes pure basketball, I can't understand how you can look at a guy like LeBron and dislike it. I think it's based on, most of the time, media narratives that people hate LeBron because of politics and all this, and others hate him because they like Jordan or Kobe. But LeBron, to me, is a player that you can look at and say, that's how you play. That's how you play the game. You do whatever your team needs you to do to win. And you're not always going to be the one scoring the goals. You're not always going to be the person who gets hoisted up at the end. But you always are important. Your teammates know how important you are. Your coach knows how important you are. Those are the players that are irreplaceable. Not the player that goes out and scores 40 when everybody else when they know I can find a guy who can score 40 in this league like I can snap my fingers. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Anybody can have a good game. Anybody who if they get 25 to 30 shots, probably can score in the realm of 30 or 40 points. That's not difficult. And if you prioritize getting off 25 to 30 shots a game, yeah, I'm not surprised and I'm not impressed in the least that you can put up 30 points. But can you put up 30 points like KD, like LeBron, like Steph when you're taking 17 shots, 18 shots, 20 at the most? You don't see Kevin Durant having 29 shots. You don't see LeBron having 29 shots. No, they have, you know, like I said, 15 to 18 shots, and they're still scoring 30. That's the difference. Anyways, please comment if you and those that don't haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thumbs it up if you like it. All right, y'all. Peace.